Hey, what's up, dreamers? My name is Matthew. How are you doing today? Hopefully, pretty well. I'm doing okay. I got my booster and my flu shot in the same row. I'm no fever, but I'm just really fucking tired. And I can barely move my arm like right up there. I should have done some exercise maybe. But today I'm gonna do something a little different, a little bit more calm. Um, I'm trying to budget here. So today we're gonna budget, and you're probably wondering, well, this is weird, this is different. It's something that I do every single month, sometimes every 2 weeks. I have a serving job at the current moment, and it's nice to sit down with your serving tips and kind of add them up and see how much you're gonna deposit, see how much you're gonna make, project how much you're gonna make for the month. And then like sort of through the year, we're getting into we're already in a busy time, but this upcoming week is Christmas week, and some people just genuinely are nicer and they'll tip more, etc., etc. So if you don't know how to budget yourself, I'm gonna sort of teach you a basic way to do it. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do to help funds, to help yourself, to invest. One of the best things you can do is invest in real estate. I do not have a full-time career quite yet, and I would love to invest in real estate. I would love to get a better place as well, but I'm not in that financial area quite yet. You can Bitcoin. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. I'm not going to say anything on it. You can put some money in a what do they call it? Like a company. I can't remember the term, but you can invest in a company. Like even through Cash App, you can put some money. Oh, in the stock market, you can buy stocks and like Netflix and things like that. And even putting in $10, $50, $100, a small amount can fluctuate, and you might be able to gain some money. So that's something you can do as well. You can always get a 401k and invest in your retirement if that's something you're interested in. So there's a lot of ways you can go about that. And then there are things where you can get a credit card and use it just for gas, build up credit. So that's nice. You can always, compartmentalize, which is also a great thing to do. And I only have a checkings and a savings. But there's that thing where it's really good to have 4 accounts. One for your essentials, your groceries, your rent, your gas, or transportation needs, your a percentage of money for entertainment purposes, whether that be food, whether that be going out kind of food, a movie, clubbing, whatever that may be. And then you have 2 more accounts. One is your savings account, where it's strictly savings. You never touch it, or you might need to touch it, but it builds more interest in the account. And then there's a 4th account where it's strictly your emergency funds, and those are the ones you do not touch. So you can do it 4 ways. I only have 2 right now. I and I'll explain here in a minute what happened with my income, because it's been definitely an interesting road for me here in New York so far. And my rent company kind of got ahead of itself. So I'm going to show you how I budgeted. It feels really good to know where your money's at and where it's going, as well, and it feels like once you do this, regardless if you feel like you're losing money or, you're really fucking happy because you're gaining a lot of money, or maybe somewhere in the middle, it always feels really good after you do this, because then you're like, okay, I got to get my shit together. I'm going to stop spending money entirely, or I need to spend $100 on groceries for the next 2 weeks, and I can't spend any money on food, whether that's your situation. So there are really good, I recommend doing this. It's really good to figure out your finances. It's also really good to check your account just in case there's something fishy going on, somebody's charging you something that they shouldn't. whether you, let's say, had a Planet Fitness membership and you canceled it 2 months ago, but they're still charging you, to figure all that stuff out, you know, whether you're being scammed or not. So we're going to get into it. I've kind of broken it down into categories, which is what I always do. So I was never really told as well to get ahead of myself in terms of money, but it's always nice to know an estimate of how much you're going to make. Don't get too exuberant, because you might not make that much. But it's good to know how much you could be making and where the areas, again, that you need to cut in are, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I just mapped it all out so that I could kind of show you my map. And I am pleasantly surprised with how much money I'm going to gain in the next month and a half. Actually, January, February, next like 2.5 months. And I'll tell you why. You guys, I had a mental breakdown, and like, I am manifesting the shit out of my life. Here's the thing, and actually I'll get to that part at the end, but I've been manifesting my dream life and really getting into manifestation. I'm going to do a video on it because I think it's really important. I think, you know, going from being so religious to not knowing what is going on and what I'm doing, to feeling you know, you're never going to have full control, but being able to control some of your reality, perception based inside of your mind, to make it your reality in 3D form, is really important. And so I've been manifesting the shit out of my life, and I had a breakdown. I had a breakdown about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. I checked my bank account and I see $5,000 gone, and I'm freaking out and I'm stressing out and I'm trying to do calculations, but because of my anxiety and because I was starting to sob and I was like, I'm going bankrupt, I'm not gonna be able to pay next month's rent. Like, even though I have a job, like, I was just starting to train. Like, I didn't, like, I might just be getting training money. I might not be making enough tips. Who knows? Come to find out, they took double the rent out by accident. And I was like, emailing me. I emailed them twice. I had to email them twice to figure my shit out. Come to find out, I was correct. They charged me twice. And they gave me an option. They gave me an option to, give me a full refund and put it back in, or I could just use that account, or gain a credit, I should say, to charge it for next month. So I went with option B, because here's why. The apartment that I'm in New York has the 3rd month free. I paid for November, I paid for December, the 3rd month would be January, but I paid extra. So January is going to be free and February is going to be free. Well, February is going to be officially free. January is technically not, but I already paid it and I hated it. But now I kind of like it, because now I'm at this like scratch base and I can only go up from here. So now that is out of the way, let me kind of share where I'm at. And I'm very raw. I'm very honest. I'm going to tell you who I owe. I'm going to tell you why I owe them. I'm going to explain my whole situation, and why I did things the way that I did them. And you're more than welcome to take this and kind of do it your way. You're more than welcome to do a little more, do a little less. And typically I do like one more step, but I didn't do it just because the thing that I wanted to do is so high. Let me explain. Okay, so let me pull this a little bit closer. Here we go. I'm gonna show you the numbers. There we go. It's not as convenient. This ring light is kind of getting on my nerves, but whatever. I also want to explain to you, this is a clear whiteboard. I highly recommend getting one of these things. It has changed my life, and I mean that in the best ways, because I do use a journal, but being able to write on this, first of all, is super fucking fun. And in my journal, I'll write like bigger things, like it's a journal calendar, or not journal, but like a calendar planner, excuse me. But on this, I'll write manifestations, I'll write affirmations, I'll write my budget on here, I'll write my to-do list on here. Like, there's so much room. I'll put some pictures up and things like that as well on the board, using these and things like that. I don't have a drill quite yet and don't have like a huge place to put this yet, but I pulled it out because it's really nice to present on here, but also for real, this has changed my life. I highly recommend getting one. It's super cheap on Amazon. I'm gonna move over so you can see it a little more. We can can we do this? Nope, there's my head gone. Okay, you're gonna barely see my head, but this is how we're gonna work it out. So let's start here. Oh, I didn't put a dollar sign there. That is kind of annoying. I don't know where the marker went. Oh well. Okay, so we started savings, and I wrote down 1,001.15. That is how much I have in savings. So we'll just kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna just go and lose $1.15. But I have about $1,000, or I have $1,000 in my savings account. In my checking right now, I have $637.81. Just for some reference, I paid $2,500 for rent. My credit right now is the one thing that I didn't factor into this completely. It's at 7,290. It is like that because I let it get out of hand by accident. It's okay. I'm going to build some credit off of it. I'm going to slowly pay it off. I don't know when I'm going to start, but it's going to be soon because I don't want my credit to go to shit. I'm paying the minimum payments that they want me to pay. That's always the most important. You know, some people like it at 0. I love it at 0. I want it at 0. I really just want my credit to be good. I want to pay for food and then being able to pay it immediately off because that's kind of the goal, you know what I mean? But I built this high credit by accident. One of the things that it made get out of control were these 2 paintings behind me because I wanted them, and this would be kind of significantly less if I hadn't, but I don't regret it at all. So you can take the amount that you calculate and you can subtract it depending on how much you want to get rid of. And like I said, pay as much as you'd like, and that's up to your discretion. If you have a higher checking, and then there are some people out there have student loans, things like that. I just luckily don't have student loans. Again, this is going to differentiate between person to person, but you may have different, you're going to have different numbers regardless, but you might have additional things that you may need to pay off or additional extra income. You might want to write here's how much I'm making on my first job. Here's my other part-time job or my side business. Maybe I'm making money off of TikTok, whatever, whatever that may be, you're more than welcome to, right side things. So 1,000 in savings, 638 in checking. I write specific, so 637.81. My credit's 7,290. Cash. And this is not the cash that I have put to the side. I have a small amount of cash to take out with me. If I lose my credit card, lose my debit card, just a small emergency cash fund with me at all times. So this does not include that, and I did not write that in. No one needs to know that information except for me, and if I ever need to put it in my account, that is something I can do as well. But these cash money is something that I have on hand that I deposit every 2 weeks to a month, that I gain through my job because my bank is my credit union / bank is kind of far. And I don't want to walk there every single week. I'll just gain extra cash and then I'll tip it off. So this money is going to go higher, and hopefully even higher than this. But in 1 week, I gained $188 from just cash tips. Now, the change, I wrote $30 because I didn't want to have to go through all my change again. I am building my change. I'm not depositing that quite yet. Who knows when I'll deposit it. I kind of want to save it for a really long time. I kind of want to deposit when I'm 25 and see how much change I can build. You never fucking know, you know what I mean? But I wrote 30 because last time I checked, it was close to there. It wasn't less, it was a little bit above. So this is a little less than what I actually have, but I'm going to say 30 just for shits and giggles. And then my checks. My direct deposit just got put in this past week. So the company that I'm working for has been sending my checks, or sending my earned money in terms of checks. And then I also ended up getting a check, again, manifestation, getting a check in for backlog on my old electricity bill. Now, something else you can do on here. I did this prior, 2 or 3 months before I left. It was completely inaccurate. It was sad because I left and it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I was like, I'm not cleaning this place. And then they ended up taking a shit ton of money out for no fucking reason out of the security deposit, but that's whatever. If you're close enough, I wouldn't do this, like if you just started the release or whatever, but if you want, you are more than welcome to write security deposit and write an estimate of how much you might gain. Again, that might go in your projections rather than in this area, but you can kind of always add, because this number right here, I had to give $2,500 for my security deposit. Now it's immediately probably going to go into a new apartment, but I know in the back of my head, you still have $2,500 left that you can take and just move. And that way, when you're in the new apartment, you'll just kind of pay first month's rent. You won't have to pay the security deposit again because you used the security deposit for here. And again, they might take $7,500 depending on how much your like last electricity bill is, their water bill, whatever it is that they take out in your apartment complex. Again, it's very individual. So the checks that I've gotten, the backlog plus this, majority of this is the check from my job, but $742.42. So I added my savings, I added my checking, I added my cash, my change, and my checks to $2,600. All of these are pluses on your statement. Now, you know, if you have done any business classes, managerial accounting, financial accounting, you kind of know what debits and credits are. Everything has to balance out, plus and minus on both sides. I just, you know, obviously wrote it like this because it's easier. You can really go in depth if you really wanted to in different things, but keeping it simple because it's nice to just look at it this way. So I could have taken the $2,600 and subtracted $7,290. Obviously, you know why I didn't do that, because I'm not paying that all at once. I'm definitely not paying it all off right now. I would genuinely be bankrupt and I couldn't make my money. So that's kind of what you put in the first column: savings, checkings, credit, cash, change, checks if you've got them, and any, you know, other accounts that you have, like maybe it's savings 1, savings 2, checking 1, checking 2, and whatnot. I'm soon probably going to get another debit card to never touch. That is going to be just my emergency fund savings account that just builds interest, because it's something I'm very interested in, and it's super fucking easy just to do. And you kind of take percentages of your checks and put them in, and it's really fucking easy. Now, I came here with a lot more money than this, I will say that. And it's not my fault that it went super far down. I thought I gained a lot of money. Moving expenses came to be a lot more money. Again, however, this should be $2,500 more than what it already is. So it should be $5,100, but it's not. So I should have more, but I don't. But it's okay because I get the next 2 months free. Again, I already prepaid for the other month by accident. So you come over here, and this is what I did. So I calculated the cash that I took from this week, as well as I subtracted out of this number the like $54 that it the bill came back to me from, and I added them together to get how much money I'm making a week, which this is definitely not enough. I should hope, like, by the time I have to pay rent on March 1st, I am hoping to have extra income coming from other places. And again, you might have some areas and some things that might come up that you will just get extra cash and extra, you know, money from. You know, you never know where it's going to come from, especially if you manifest. So I took how many Fridays I had left until March 1st, which is 11. I have 11. I get paid every single Friday. I have 11 Fridays until that comes up. So again, I subtracted the bill from here and added them together. I got 880. So 880 times 11 is $9,680. Again, approximate. That is how much I should be making in 11 weeks until I have to pay my debit card off. We are not talking groceries. We are not talking fun. I did not subtract any of that. I do like to take kind of the additional number on this side of the comma and say, hey, this is how much you get to spend on other things. So for me, $680 is how much I have to spend on personal items between March 1st and now. And then I added the $2,600 of money that I already have to that potential number I should have by March 1st, $12,280. This number, I guarantee you, will be at $10,000. like right about $10,000, which I am very fucking comfortable with. I am very fucking comfortable with that number to get me through and give me enough months to really power through and gain extra cash, okay? None of you really care about that part, but I processing as we speak through you guys as well. So this number's gonna be close to $10,000. I have a trip planned that's gonna cost me, you know, my flight and, you know, any touristy things I wanna do, etc., etc. Now, his top right corner, again, it's people I owe, and if people see this and they're like, oh, weird, this is not what I said, just ignore that. I'm going to tell you how much I owe them, and this is how much I'm going to pay. This is an old friend. I owe her $30. I want to pay her and get rid of... Anyways, get rid of her existence. It was a really weird story between us, but I owe her $30 for food that I never paid, and I just want to pay her and get it done. I owe my sister for some things. She ended up buying the waitress ticket for when she came to see me in New York, because I wanted her to pay for it just so this number stayed a little bit higher and I didn't lose all that money. And I told her I was going to pay her back, and I didn't, so I'm going to pay her back when I have a little extra spare cash. Now, my dad, I owe $4,000 to. That is another story. That one I don't really need to explain. But the last thing I wanted to tell you about is manifestation. Like I've said a million times in this video, take a shot. It is something so heavily important to me. It is something that I am attempting to do every night. I fail at it, and that's okay. I get back up and I do it again. Manifesting your dream life, that includes friendships you may want, relationships you may want, jobs you are looking for, whether that be full-time career, side gigs, maybe you want a small business to come up, money, super fucking important, manifesting people you'd like to not be in your life, you know, literally anything, your literal dream life, and visualizing it. It's all about manifesting, visualizing it, and believing that that is something that is happening. So obviously, first step, manifesting. Meditate if that's something you're interested in. Quiet space, maybe some frequencies, maybe a manifesting playlist. There are plenty out there, just like Magic by Ariana Grande is like at the top of so many of them. It's such a good song. I love it. Anyways, manifesting it, saying it out loud is so important. You need to start doing this. You need to start saying it out loud. Same thing about loving yourself. If you don't start speaking to yourself in a great manner, not just inside, but out, you're never going to believe yourself because you're only trying to say it inside, and it's never going to be realized until you yourself say it out loud. It's, you know, like giving a compliment to yourself, you can't really do that necessarily in your head. Like if I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I say, oh my God, I love your smile. And then I start saying it, and sometimes it's going to be weird, it's going to be funky, but you're going to start saying it, and at the very end, you might start laughing, and then you'll feel incredible because you believe it. That laughter is like such a good feeling. When you start laughing at yourself, you're like, I'm laughing because I believe it to be true. I'm like, I have a great smile. Like, it's funny that you're saying it to yourself because it's accurate. So manifesting, you know, however you feel. I kind of meditate in a dark room, my bedroom, and I do it to like a frequency thing, and then I start listening to manifesting music, and I say manifestations out loud. You know, a bunch of TikTok ones really are helpful. That's where I've started learning to do this. I don't chase, I attract. Whatever is meant for me will simply find me is a really good one because it is truly what you are looking for. You know, and in Just Like Magic by Ariana Grande, that is basically the premise of the song. Is attracting. I get everything I want because I attract it. That is what you want. So manifesting money, you know, saying that you're deserving of it, saying that you would like it, you know, and then again in the job area, maybe you want money, but it comes from something that you want to be doing. So, you know, going even to more specific, I really want to gain money from being a full-time social media influencer. Period. And say that a couple times a day. If you do it just once at night, say it, you know, repeated times, whatever it is you're meant to do. Then visualizing it. Close your eyes. daydream, visualize your life, visualize what you would be doing in that scenario. If you want to be a millionaire, visualize that money in your hand. Visualize what you would do if you saw it in your account. Maybe you're doing this and you're visualizing on your board and you're like, okay, I'm going to write one day on this board that I have $5 million in my bank account, right on the dot. And you're laughing because it's funny that it's $5 million on the dot. Like, why is it that specific? Like, look at me go. And then you're like, okay, well, how do I feel with that money in my account? Like, I feel really happy, but I feel a little weird because I need to be spending some of it, into places, if you're a humanitarian and you feel weird that you have $5 million and someone's homeless on the street and you're like, well, how much, maybe I go to the bank and I take out $500 of $5 million and I take out 5 $100 bills. Maybe 500, maybe for the, you want to be Oprah for the month of December and you're like, okay, I'm going to every single day, 25 days to Christmas for myself, I'm going to pull out $500 from my bank account every single day, 5 $100 bills. I'm going to hand them out to homeless people I see throughout the day. And maybe that's what you do. Maybe you're a bitch and you want to keep $5 million to yourself. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go take myself on a self-pamper day. And I'm going to go get a mani, a pedi, a massage. I'm going to get the bougiest meal at Nobu. I'm going to take a private jet to LA and go to Disneyland for the day. Whatever it is. Maybe you are a smart bitch and you're like, I have $5 million now. I wanted to hit this mark so that I could spend $2 million of it investing in real estate, whether that be in the place that you're at or buying a place somewhere else to do as a vacation rental or whatever it is you may be. You're like, cool, I have $2 million that I can spend in a place. Palm Springs house, might have $1 million. I can buy 2 of those properties, turn them both into vacation rentals, start getting money back. And pay them outright, you know what I mean? So visualizing whatever you're going to do with that money. Again, visualizing what you're going to do with the job. Visualizing what you would do if you had that boyfriend. Visualizing what that boyfriend looks like. Girlfriend, whoever it is, friendship-wise, same thing. Your daily activities. You have $5 million in your bank account, your day is going to look different than what you're doing now. Maybe you do go to Starbucks every single day rather than once every other day. Maybe you visualize your day. You start taking a shower in your bougie ass apartment and you're in a steam shower. You're getting ready. Maybe it's 7:30 a.m. You hit the gym. You go back from the gym. You get Starbucks on your way home. You drink. You sit down at your computer and you start doing maybe your job, or you start making TikToks because that's your job, or whatever it may be, and seeing your whole day. And, even down to okay, it's 7:30, went to the gym, got coffee. Now it's 9 a.m. I'm back at my apartment. I'm sitting down to do work. My boyfriend finally comes out. He's about to leave for his job. He kisses me on the mouth, says, love you, have a great day, walks out of the apartment. I'm going to see him at 5 p.m. Maybe his job gets out early at 3:30, he goes to the gym, he comes back, he takes a shower. Very specific things. I'm really speaking now. Finally, believing it. So we've gotten the manifestation, we've got the visualization, and finally the believing it part, which is arguably the most important part. You stop yourself every step of the way. If you do not get out of your way, you're never going to reach your full potential. You need to believe yourself. I'm not saying you cannot have bad days. Everybody has bad days, but you need to start realizing that every second counts. If you have a bad moment throughout the day, if you trip and you start crying and you're like, fuck, I've had a bad day. It's 7 a.m. Fuck. It's going to make for a really bad day. No. You had a bad moment, you tripped, fucking laugh it off and walk off. You have a great life, especially ahead of you. Believing in yourself, believing in those manifestations, believing in the visualizations, and starting something to do with that daily life. Maybe you visualize yourself every single day working at your computer at 9 a.m. So right now you have a stupid desk job that you do not like at a firm that you don't like. And you start work at 10 a.m. They tell you to come in at 10 a.m. and you're like, no, I'm going to come in at 9 a.m. so that when I have my fully realized life that I want, then I realize that I am going to start work at 9 a.m. and it's going to be the same when I have my dream life. Even starting small like that, or even down to the, if you can afford it now, going to get coffee at Starbucks every single day, to be like, this is just something normal I do every single day, and I'm going to do it when I'm, richer, have my dream job, have my dream boyfriend, we're going to go get Starbucks together. Who fucking knows? Believing it is so fucking important, you guys. It's absolutely imperative that you believe in yourself and you believe in the manifestations and believe that the money is coming, believe that these things are coming, and believe that they're not going to take forever. And you need to do that in every step, emotionally, physically, and most importantly, because a lot of people have emotional problems in believing. Or financially is where people, I feel, get the most stuck. Because people are like, well, I don't have that money now. I can't do this. I will never have it. No. Believe that it will come. Believe that the money will be there. Start looking for different avenues to bring some extra income in, because you will not need them later on. Manifest that money. You take the vacation that you want to take now. Do not let money stop you. If you have $1,500 in your account and you live in Florida and you want to take a vacation, take a $300 flight, there's probably cheaper, to New York City. Buy yourself a ticket to go see a Broadway show, max $100. For, let's just say it's 3 days. You get food for those 3 days. Breakfast, lunch, dinner for 3 days. Maybe you spend $100 extra, maybe $200. So you're still left with $800, $900 in your account. Go take that vacation, and know that when you want to take a vacation, when you do have these things, you can take a longer vacation in New York. But you didn't stop yourself from loving yourself now and doing the things you want to do now. If you start doing the things you want to do now without things inhibiting you, you are going to start see your dream life forming, because you're already not limiting yourself. You believe in yourself because you do not give a shit. I love you. I hope this is informative. This is really important to me. I'm a little low energy right now just because of the shots and I feel tired, but I really hope something came across on here, in here, something clicked. Maybe you're like, I'm going to take that vacation. Just remember that. I love you. It all starts with an idea. It starts with you. Dream big.